Oh, what is this? This movie is one I've seen peppered around as a suggestion on our Discord server for a while now, so thank you to all who directed me to it. We've just experienced the real Ratatouille, so let's now dive into their ugly rip-off of a cousin. This is Ratatoing, created in just 4 months by Brazilian animation studio Video Brinquedo in order to release the same month as Ratatouille. Apparently, one of the producers, Ale Mercado, nowadays says, "I don't have regrets, but I'm not proud of it," essentially explaining the populous existence of these so-called mockbusters as just being a way to make a quick buck. Some people want to make quality movies, some people just want to make movies. And oftentimes from the higher-ups, they have very little care for the actual plot or art style. Meanwhile, Video Brinquedo had actually quite a noble directive. We actually wanted to produce entertainment at accessible cost. We also wanted to offer job opportunities to a lot of animators in Brazil where there wasn't an animation industry. Who'd have thought there'd be something a bit more wholesome under the surface? But it's still a doofy movie, and it's a lot of fun to make fun out of.
Ratatoing.
Ah, thanks. I always wanted to hear the title card of the movie as it appears in its title card form. Wish more movies did that. Could you imagine? The Super Mario Bros. Movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Cars 2, or... That one actually sounds kind of charming. Anyway, that's the only word for the first 90 seconds. Instead, played with an incredibly long set of establishing shots on very underproduced animation. It's the opening credits and nothing to really look at. This movie's only 45 minutes in total. I don't think we've got time to be wasting here. Let's get into the action, please.
The Marvelous City.
Oh, wow, okay, that was quicker than I thought. Yes, this Ratatouille ripoff doesn't take place in France, of course, but in Brazil, probably for obvious reasons now, as our narrator tells us directly where the story takes place, complimenting the locale at the same time. A love letter, if you will.
It seems that everyone, even from distant places, wants to come to this restaurant.
Are you sure about that? This street seems awfully abandoned to me, but hey, what do I know? Maybe it's a time zone issue. Anyway, now we hop to an entirely different entrance, a rat restaurant exclusively for rats. We've reached the canon ending already.
We came from a great distance because everyone we heard from said the food is great at Ratatoing.
Boy, that's the truth.
Yeah, good point. There's no gun aimed at my head at all. And after an incredibly long conversation at this first table, complimenting the restaurant with some suspiciously repeated lines from the narrator earlier, eventually we move on to the same thing again at another table.
Indeed, this restaurant is very good, Maria Liche. You are absolutely right.
But forget the compliments for a moment. What are those jaws doing? Everyone at this particular table has some kind of animation that flicks on their chin for like one frame.
Oh, were you questioning my good taste, darling?
No.
No. But after about 5 minutes in the runtime, we are finally done with the opening circle jerk. Time to finally get a scene with this super esteemed chef. I'm sure it must be him that has all the animation chops plugged into his quality. His rival is Remy after all, so they'd have to be pulling out all the stops, you know?
Hello. Well, it's turning out to be some night tonight, huh, Marcel?
Ah, never mind. I see where all the budget went. It went into this walk here. Because everyone knows, if you've got a female rat character, you've gotta sexualize her. And give her 3 seconds of awkward pausings in her dialogue as well.
Well, it's turning out to be some night tonight, huh, Marcel?
So here's the chef, endlessly caressing a single can of goop. It's not too unrealistic. See, look, they have some turnips on the floor. Chef Marcel is your classic unconfident little squeaky boy.
Yes, he ordered tonight's special, the larva pie.
Carol, why didn't you tell me sooner? You know perfectly well that dish requires a lot more time to prepare than other dishes.
And then there's this other staff rat getting into the mix. And when he's not animating in the background of other people's lines, he sounds an awful lot like...
Wow, Marcel, it looks like we'll set a new record today.
Hold on, is that... Oh no, that's actually Mike Pollock, Dr. Eggman himself. At least in the English dub it is. No! How do these terrible movies always end up dragging someone down with them for a time? Anyway, as for the plot...
Junior, you really need to stop eating the junk food. It's not healthy for you.
Have a heart, dear. Let the boy have what he wants.
Yes, Daddy, I love cheddar.
It hasn't really started yet. So far, this has just been a compilation of table dramas. It's more like reality TV. And then it almost goes somewhere with one particular table asking to see the chef, as much as everyone wants to give compliments to him, but then we settle back into debating ingredients again.
I'm sorry, but I don't usually like ice cream unless I'm certain that it's absolutely fresh.
Back in the back rooms, the boys are expositing how they do something special on Thursday night.
Oh, I forgot we do something special on Thursday night.
See? To which the waitress comes in with another order.
Wow, that was really fast.
Yeah,
2 chocolate ice cream with biscuit bran.
precisely.
Hold on a minute, is that Mike Pollock? Sounds more like they've got a soundboard of the dude they've strung up to the microphone. Didn't he say that exact line earlier as well?
Spicy, fatty, and crisp spaghetti.
Precisely.
Incredible that even in the voice editing, it's so stitched together. So Marcel comes out to receive the compliment in his shy manner.
The dishes are prepared with the secret ingredient of a lot of dedication and care.
Okay, and then he's dragged to another table, asked the question again, and dragged back into the kitchen for his sake.
Is anyone hurt badly? What's going on?
There's no problem. We were just trying to help you get away from those clients.
We know just how uncomfortable you feel in those situations.
And it's at this point I realize I recognize that voice too. It's Lisa Ortiz, aka Amy Rose from Sonic X. This is a full-on crossover episode apparently. What, is Jason Griffith in the cast list? No. But Dan Green is. That is also Knuckles. What is happening? Clearly on the production side, this project has some direct connections to Sonic X or 4Kids, which would be airing during this time, yeah. Fascinating. And now we finally change locations to this barren-looking street where it turns out one of the tables was a rival restaurant. They were seeking the secret formula.
They must have a weakness there somewhere, and we'll just have to find it.
Ah, so there's Knuckles. I mean, actually, there's everyone. Pretty much the whole cast is playing multiple characters, but finally I can hear Knuckles specifically in one of them. And now that it's a Thursday night, it's time to see that special thing that they do.
Come on, Greg, it's time.
Huh? Okay. And the background is just... right. 90 seconds go by of this, by the way, in some sort of spy gear, an endlessly white void, and zoom-ins on feet. Was that really necessary? And then out they go. Alright, why? Is it entertainment for the customers? But they're gone. Well, we're back to the rival restaurant now. Just try to forget about it. The rival group realize they've left their notebook behind, but also decide to lay low and stay away for a while because they've been coming to Ratatoing too often. And we're back to this spy thing again. What is happening?
Hey, shh.
Apparently not much. Even with this, I guess, action scene, all motions are stiff and awkward, and not even the score knows how to play consistently. Oh, that one rat does come back to get a notebook, and continues further. So it turns out, at the Ratatoing, the gang are just stealing from the up-top human restaurant for their fresh ingredients. Probably could have worked that one out from the proximity there. And naturally, it's all presented to us awfully anyway.
Strawberries. Big, beautiful red ones that smell incredibly fresh and delicious.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Something about it all is just so robotic. You could really start to sense the differences between good directing and bad, since these are not bad VAs. They're just speaking bad lines with bad editing too.
That's it, now bring me the strawberry. What have you done, you clumsy idiot?
Somehow this movie's pacing feels like video game cutscenes, you know? Like you've grabbed a strawberry in game and are steadily met with...
That's it, now bring me the strawberry.
Wouldn't you agree, Mike Pollock?
Precisely.
So this lady here is now perfectly intruding towards their secret back entrance, not even peeping at the cauldron you'd think would be the main source of mystery, and of course, not being checked on despite Amy literally saying earlier,
Marcel, take your time. We need to make sure we haven't been followed by anyone.
nope. Now off she goes into the clearly finite grey box of unbuilt upon textures. So how's it going in the human kitchen?
Turn this crazy thing on!
Of course, it's all a mess that they don't know how to clean up. The concept of switches is apparently beyond these rats. But amidst all this cacophony, let's have a moment to appreciate some of the decorations these supposed humans have. Glorious, beautiful, chic even. I especially like what they did with that assortment of sausages over there. Just sort of stuck them to the wall or something with nary an adhesive. So anyway, while they deliberate far too long over the solution to their issues...
Push the button.
Are you saying button? Oh, button! Again!
Other lady pops up and gets the gist instantly. She addresses the audience for some reason, and then off she leaves with all the intel she needs.
It's so beautiful here. Everything is spinning.
That was too adventurous, guys.
See, I'm telling you, man, it feels like I'm watching one of those cutscene compilations from a video game. So after briefly thinking about if their front door was left open, only to immediately show, I think, a flashback of their other staff not shutting said door, we come to the rival gang. Just talking in a diamond out in the streets, back to back to back. Nothing interesting to see, since this movie can barely display its finger off the ground.
How do you think we can stop them?
Well, maybe all we need to do is to make things a little more complicated for them.
To which, they then teleport to underneath the table of a human restaurant. So much for not wanting to risk their lives just for ingredients. Welcome to the halfway mark. Subscribe for more or suggest further terrible movies on our Discord. You may have noticed we've been releasing a lot of Pixar related content lately, and that's intentional. We're going for a bit of an unofficial Pixar month this month, so look forward to a little more. So what is their big idea? What is happening? It's to dance around, of course, under this table. What, did most of the budget go to the choreographer, only to realize the animation doesn't have the prowess to translate any of it? There's a lot of... And it's basically that pose sequence again from earlier for some reason. It's actually quite nonsensical, to be honest. I do not get what they're intending with this. But later on, they confront the humans to scare them away from this restaurant as a source, which is just completely against the logic of this being a risky move. But of course, this movie has no plans on actually digging up logic. I mean, we're already long past halfway through somehow.
What the heck caused all this mess?
Rats, sir, but I don't know how they got in.
And that's the voice actors again, now just pitched down.
At least you can say they're efficient.
And that's not just with the production team in the background. The following scene is 6.5 seconds long and just one line.
I can't wait to see how crazy they get after they discover the incredible mess we made. We're so bad.
Yeah, I guess you don't need to tell any more than that.
Hey, Marcel!
Well, I'm sure she has something to say eventually. They just really have to milk out that sexualized walk cycle some more. Gotta fill up those 45 minutes somehow. You know what she has to say. They need more ingredients, so they'll get more tonight. Oh, and they're off again with their Nike shoes fit and clumps of cheese. This time, the kitchen is filled with mousetraps everywhere. Marcel is delighted to see all the food spread out everywhere, and Amy Rose...
Don't trust anything, Marcel. They might be traps.
Well, she's just keeping up her omnipotent awareness of the conflict of the day yet again. Just for Marcel to dive out for it anyway.
Hey, Marcel, are you okay?
The food is attached to a trap!
You know, these characters really go through a lot. I think it's very telling of character to see that Marcel is still able to talk after his decapitation from literally being hit by a mousetrap. So now that the gang knows what's up, it's time for yet another slow sequence of nothing. An incredible scene. So much depth to pass from this, followed by a slow drag of a POV, until one day we're locked onto a raw chocolate bar just sat on the counter. No wrapper or anything.
Oh, now what do I do?
Get one of your friends to help out. There's literally 3 of you. This one shot is 30 seconds long. 30 seconds of grunts and taps and doubts. But eventually it turns us to our last plot piece of the movie.
I'm getting it! I got it! I think we have company!
No timing when it comes to delivery, but hey, there's a cat now. Lingering around for too long, but I guess that is kind of something they do. They like to watch. With a bar as heavy as this, how does Marcel manage to carry it away, you ask? With a sudden burst of instant speed, apparently. The weight of the bar only a problem when being lifted. Not once it's on your persons, of course. That's not the correct anatomy of a cat either. And so Marcel now slides the chocolate over the table, claws his way up a wire, and then... What is this film? Once again, it's a terrible movie with zero sound design. Ratatouille could never... It's a disaster of a mission.
We'll just have have to make do for a while with what we have in stock.
Good thought. I don't want to become this cat's dinner. Let's get out of here.
And that's the scene over, with a classic cut to black. What's going on with the rival restaurant? Will we ever see this rival restaurant? Of course not. They're back at the Ratatoing, of course, wishing to see the downfall for themselves. Things are emptier, there are complaints to be made, but they haven't actually improved their business, and they're saying that themselves.
Are you implying that we don't have any courage?
Then let's see you go into that human kitchen and get some food for our restaurant.
Huh? But you guys just stopped that method working anymore. How can you say that is too scary when you were literally at their feet begging for attention? What is this whole non-resolution? I don't think this family has the capacity to be happy and content.
Don't worry about it. We'll think of some way to deal with it.
Well, I hope you come up with something fast, because there's only 6 minutes left of the movie. And again, the animation, pauses on the final frame before fading to black. This wasn't the case at the start of the movie, but now apparently every single scene needs to end in this way for some sort of dramatic effect. Still feels like a cutscene ending.
Greg, we've got much more serious problems.
Yeah, very serious. I only wish that I could offer a good solution for them right now.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it's Thursday night.
Precisely!
Could always count on this robot version of Mike to add to the conversation. So now that every day is a Thursday, apparently, Marcel, of course, has the gall to go out to the kitchen again.
I just know we have to try.
Okay, but is this bit really necessary? Are they even really putting on clothes? It seems more like just a belt or something. And more slow-mo walking. And now these two boys are joining along.
Watch your back over there, Marcel.
Precisely!
Okay, now you're just taking the piss. That's not even me editing him to oversay it. So what's Marcel's big plan?
Carol, Greg, you guys get the food. I'll stay here and distract the cat.
Of course, the most milquetoast of an idea told only in the middle of disaster. Please tell me that the cat starts to speak and turns into the reviewer from Ratatouille or something. The backup boys witness and commentate the main gang's absurdity, and Mike Pollock has apparently long left the voice acting studio.
Come on, Greg, we have to grab as much of this cheese as we can.
Precisely!
Did he say precisely that time? Or am I giving this movie too much credit? No, but really, I would love if the cat, suddenly turned around and with a deep British accent would just be like, I say, my boy, your desire for this pasteurized delicacy is one that is far too uncultured for someone of my class. Here, why don't you consider this rare treat over here if you're looking for ingredients of a particular quality? You know, make a gag out of this guy. Resolve your movie in a slight twist. Instead, the cat stops animating as a whole, it seems.
Hey, pay attention to me! Hey!
And soon enough gets angry with Marcel and starts chasing him down, running through this fresh new human setup that we'll never see more of, as the other four all confront each other. This is a mugging now.
Hold it right there! Give us everything you have in your bags and make it quick!
And after that pretty clear act of aggression from Mike Pollock, what do you think Mike Pollock is going to do in response? Bear in mind, this is the entire end of the movie. We're down to the last 90 seconds or so here.
But why? Don't you think there's enough cheese here for all of us? Go get your own, but watch out for the traps!
Okay, I guess you could kind of say that is a sort of de-escalation. Of course, these evil rats in their rival restaurant would surely not take such a simple and peaceful approach, right? They want to win in this battle of businesses. Plus, these guys specifically make a point about not wanting to stick their necks out and get in any danger.
Why do we need to bother with the small pieces they have in their bags when there's so much on the table for us to take?
And then they don't, continuing to argue with each other instead, and also our guys, despite them not actually being part of the conversation. But I guess now they are, and...
What are you going to do about it, chubby?
Gotta appreciate for a minute this one unique animation they had for this sassy head waggle. And with a minute to spare, I guess we're going the easiest route. The rat boys are ratted out to the humans remove the mousetraps, the cat becomes a Ratatoing regular, the rival fam mourn their being experimented on brethren, and the staff laugh in the backrooms.
Precisely! Precisely!
This precisely gag is the best joke in the movie, and they'd lost all subtlety for it by the end. You may be interested to know that Video Brinquido is now defunct. The passage of time is cruel to all. But as Ale Mikado clarified years later, I needed that experience to evolve and to learn how to work with a team and a low budget, so it was important. But though this film may come with a surprisingly noble undertone, it was of course terrible through and through. Definitely the terrible Ratatouille Rip Off.
Precisely!
Was Mikado ever happy with their finished movies? I'll let you know with their own words here. No. Never, 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 never. For now, my name's been Daz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.